Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are super blessed to be able to paint up another model sent in by AMG. It's first of the Asgard that we'll be painting up. It's your girl, Lady Sif. I think the detail on her looks absolutely amazing. She seems like a simple and fun paint. I think she'll be super quick. Not a lot of like color options and stuff like that because she's pretty simple palette. I do think it's going to be kind of difficult to paint like close to her chest because of how tight it is in there, so I do think that will present a challenge, but other than that I'm super excited to get started with her. So like I said, like super simple palette. She's got like red, black, white, and silver are her main colors, with like a little bit extra for some shade and whatnot. But yeah, let's get started. So the first color we're going in with, of course, is Contrast. You guys already know. It is Contrast Galen Flesh, my favorite. I think it's super easy to work with, and you can kind of like either thin it down or do like an extra layer if you need skin to be a little bit darker. I think this is actually a great base skin tone. So we've got it on her face, her hands, and her thighs. So the next color we're going to go in with is, of course, another Contrast. This one is Baal Red. It took me so stinking long. I mean, it's really not that long. It was only 20 minutes, but compared to everything else, this was the longest part of painting her. Even with this segment being on 4 times speed, which is what I do these on, it's still almost 5 minutes. So it's definitely kind of lengthy. I will say, I tried being a little bit neater at first with it so I wouldn't have to like go in with white and clean things up just to put the contrast white over top for like the parts that I do that for. She's such a tiny model though, and my hands were a little bit shaky today. Apparently 2 Red Bulls before painting video is not how you do things. So that wasn't working out for me. So I decided, you know, paint is forgiving and you can always clean things up with white, so I was being a little bit more bold with it. And if you are a person that sub-assemblies, I do recommend doing that with like her arms and stuff like that. Now, I don't actually know in the instructions if that's possible because we don't get instructions when we get PR boxes. But I do recommend not putting her arms on and having like a better access to her chest if you can. I just think it would have saved me probably, maybe honestly, only like 10 or 15 minutes for like everything that I do. But there is a lot of red on this model, so it will take you some time. And I absolutely love it. Makes her pop. So as I said, there are parts that I'm doing apothecary white. I like the white look, but I didn't want it to be like starch white as a Corax white would do. I did go and clean it up in between takes so that way you guys didn't have to see me essentially paint the same exact thing twice. So all of the parts that were going to be apothecary white, which is her little skirt, the wraps around her shoes, and I also ended up doing the fur that's on top of her cape as well, because I ended up putting a shade over top of that, so it's slightly different, but that is all apothecary white. Next color we're going in with is the Black Legion contrast paint. So that is going on. She's got like a little belt on with her sash, and the like hilt of the sword, the little sheath for the sword, and obviously her hair is black as well. And next up we've got Leadbelcher for the silver, and that's for her sword, and a little piece on her head. And I ended up doing I couldn't tell if they were like buckles or not. She's got a couple like round medallion looking things on her waist, 2 in the front, which I originally had red because I didn't know what they were, and then one kind of like on the side. I decided to go with silver just because I kind of figured it was like a metal kind of clasp buckle belt kind of thing. So yeah. Next, we're just doing a little bit of shading. It's the brown Agrex Earth shade, and it's on top of the Apothecary White for the fur that she has at the top of her cape. And next we're going in with the black shade, which is Nuln Oil, on all of the silver bits, just to give them a little bit of dimension. Okay, so for this one, I don't have it on 4x speed because I wanted to make sure you guys kind of really didn't miss. She's got a red like hair tie because her hair is like half up, half down, and then she also has a little bit of red on the front of her headpiece as well. Tiny little details. Okay, so now that Lady Sif is done, we're going to move on to her base, and I keep it pretty simple and easy as usual. I go in with the Basilicanum Gray, it's my go-to, and I am going to say something heretical, so I'm glad this is over the internet and you cannot stone me. Anytime there's a tactical rock, as you can see she's got her right foot on, I'll do a first layer in Basilicanum Gray, and while it's still wet and without like rinsing off my paintbrush, I'll dip it into the Agres Dunes, kind of like brown, and apply a layer of that over top of the gray while it's still wet without rinsing off my brush. That way the two can kind of like blend together and I don't have to like mix it beforehand. I don't know why I do that. I know it's crazy. I also think like you get like splotches that are more brown and some of them that are more gray. I like the look of that, so that's why I do that. I think it looks great. Alright, last but not least, we've got that same lead belcher silver as before going onto the grate that is on the bottom of her base, and then we do the rim in Abaddon Black and call it a day. Alright guys, that is a fully painted Lady Sif. I think she took me maybe an hour and a half to paint, and like I said, the longest part of that was the 20 minutes it took me to do the red. Super fun, super quick. The chest getting in like behind her arms was like the hardest part. Other than that, super fantastic model. And remember, here at Married Couple Protocol, we love you.